Hey guys, how's it going? It's Brendan here, and welcome back to the Crypto Analyst channel. And I hope all of you guys are having a great day no matter where you are from, because there is a lot going on right now in the great world of cryptocurrency, especially on the regulatory and fundamental side of things. But don't you worry, all you chart gurus, we're going to be going over what's happening on the Bitcoin chart as well, because there actually is some big developments over here, with Bitcoin almost looking like it's forming a squeeze and a bear flag of sorts on the daily timescale. So we're going to be elaborating on this in just a moment as well, but I want to start things off with the fundamental side of things, especially with this regulatory side, because there has been some big developments here. Now, most recently, we had the US Congressional Committee passing a new crypto bill. And what this does here is essentially put everyone a step closer towards regulatory clarity. Now, this has been a very sought after thing for pretty much the last, I would say, year or so now, maybe even a little bit more than that. But what we have is we have very well established companies like Coinbase, like Kraken, like a lot of these other big players that are saying we don't care what way this regulation goes to a degree, as long as it's not too extreme. But they don't really care where it goes. They just need to know what it is so that they can properly regulate themselves with the US government. And the problem that we've seen here is that even publicly traded companies that have had to run the gauntlet of the SEC to get approval, like Coinbase, even they're still getting in trouble. And so the big question here, and what they've pretty much come out and openly stated, was we don't care what it is, just let us know what kind of regulation needs to be done, and we will make sure it happens on our end. There just hasn't been proper clarity on this subject. So a lot of these crypto companies are getting frustrated with the US government because they're willing to do what it takes to regulate. They just don't know properly what it is. So they keep getting in trouble. And so, long story short, that's kind of where we're at here. And these companies are, obviously this is a win for them. So these companies like Coinbase especially are going to be rejoicing over this because they are getting a step closer towards having the clarity that they've sought for quite a while now. Now, across the world, over in Asia, on the China border, we have some new developments with a hydro-powered crypto mining facility. And the cool thing about this is that this is getting built for two reasons. And as we kind of make our way and read through this article, pretty much they're spending $20 million to build this mining facility over in Central Asia, and it's going to border China because cryptocurrency mining got banned out of China. So it's going to be on the border of China from one of the bordering countries, and they're building this because they saw that they were wasting a ton of extra energy. And so they said, hey, why not actually reroute that extra energy that's just getting wasted? We can use it for miners, and then we can get the extra money that we're making from these miners and then give it back to ordinary people. And so that seems to be the goal over here. And we've seen actually quite a few countries do this, whether it's private companies or the countries and the governments themselves. We've seen this pretty much across the globe, in Europe and in Asia, and even in the States we've seen it. But this is a growing theme. Like, this is growing in popularity because I think a lot of these big power facilities are realizing that they're wasting a lot of power they don't have to be. Now, in this case, it's the government saying, hey, let's reroute this extra power into miners, and then we can give money back to the ordinary people. And it seems to be a win-win for just about everyone. It's a win for crypto people. It's a win for the ordinary people in this country. It's a win for the government because they're not wasting as much power anymore. And then it seems to be a good thing all around. And on the, I guess the second side of things here is that Cryptocom just registered in the Netherlands, and they got cleared for their advertising services there. Now, why is this important? Because again, crypto regulatory stuff has been pretty hard for the bulk of this bear market. After like FTX and Terra Luna and Voyager and Celsius, advertising in crypto was made significantly more difficult. So this is a win because Crypto.com is now getting cleared for more advertising stuff, but also they are getting cleared for more like regulation stuff with the Dutch government. So crypto is still very much expanding on a global scale. And the final thing to talk about here is that blockchain tech, the underlying technology of cryptocurrencies, is letting East African and even Latin American farmers kind of increase and have a better workflow. Now, how is this being done? Well, a lot of these farmers, whether, really no matter what they're farming, they sometimes have tech issues. They don't have the same kind of data chain services that first world countries do. And because of this, things tend to get lost. And with blockchain, we can create this immutable permanent record where everything is able to be traced and tracked. And it opens up pretty much the world economy to these countries because they're now able to keep track of everything. They're now able to distribute stuff a lot easier, and it keeps the whole process organized. And so that's some of the ways that we're actually seeing blockchain be used in a really, really like fundamental and tangible way, where these people who don't have access to first world technology, like people from maybe like the States or in like a big European country or, you know, Great Britain or something like that, these farmers are able to take advantage of blockchain tech and, you know, use it for themselves. You know, these are the underdogs who farming is a big part of their lives, and they're able to come in here and actually see really, really big benefits of blockchain. So it's just a cool way. This is an article that if you want to read all the way through it, you know, I'm not gonna, I guess, bore everyone. But the cool thing here is that I believe it's 18 different countries are looking into this kind of stuff. Across like Latin America and Central America, and even a little bit in Eastern Asia as well. So a lot of these like developing countries, second, third world, I believe there was even a first world country in here. Could be wrong on that one, but a lot of second and third world countries are really starting to utilize and see the benefits of blockchain tech in a bunch of different verticals. And that's kind of the theme of today's video, is that we aren't just talking about one vertical of blockchain tech. It's being used in a lot of different ways, and there's a lot of good stuff happening on a global scale. So, you know, yeah, price is kind of falling, it's consolidating, but with that, I want to kind of segue us into the charts over here, because Bitcoin has a really unique development. And if you're a Crypt Nation VIP member, then we were talking about this a little bit yesterday. And the big thing to watch out for here is that with kind of crypto being where it's at right now, Bitcoin fell through the bottom of this consolidation zone. Now, it was chopping between 29,500 up to around 31,500, and it was just kind of bouncy balling in between here. But most recently, we saw the floor of this support break, and Bitcoin broke downwards after this to the downside, back to that 50-day moving average, where it had to consolidate upwards after that. Now, the big thing here is that, you know, this kind of starts to look like a bear flag and also a squeeze, because if we zoom in, we are seeing upwards consolidation, almost like a rising channel of sorts. And we're also retesting our former support as a newfound resistance area, which is something to watch out for, and definitely not a bullish thing. Now, I certainly hope that Bitcoin is able to break through here, but, you know, the issues are that we turned a previous, you know, pretty big support level into a newfound level of resistance, and also we are having rejections of the 20-day moving average as well, which actually resulted in the initial breakdown here. So, you know, whether we break down or not, this isn't one of those things where it's like, oh my God, if we break this, we're going to like plummet to new lows or anything like that. But it is one of those things where, you know, if we do break down here, it could mean that maybe Bitcoin falls $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 to the downside. Maybe we get a little bit closer to that 200-day moving average. And that could definitely be something that's in the world of reality as well, which is around $26,500. So just one thing to keep your eye out on. I hope I'm wrong here. You know, I hope that this isn't bearish, but we are certainly squeezing after breaking a support, and we're squeezing up to the upside, which is a little bit of a scary thing, because typically that tends to be associated with more of a bear flag maneuver. But that's going to wrap us up for today's video, everyone. I hope you all did enjoy. If you did, make sure that you smack that like and subscribe button. You know, I know a lot of people come in here, they're not always subscribed, but if you want to stay up to date on everything that's happening in the great world of cryptocurrency, you know, consider sticking around. But until then, everyone, we have another video coming out next week. So until then, I'll see all of you soon.